Hello, thank you for joining this video. Here I would like to explore the header section for your Shopify store. So to begin with, we'd like to show you our game theme demo store in theme style the lace. So here we have this header, as you can see, and as you can see it's transparent, and on the hover we see this white background. And here we have several different mega menus. As you can see, we have this one standard here. We see these row menus. We also see different images, and we also get the drop-down menu. And here is just simply a link to the blog. And we have this mega menu where on one half we have the picture and on the other we have the information with buttons. So now let's go to our theme customizer and try to recreate a similar menu. So first of all, we go to our theme customizer here and we go to the home page. Here, as you can see, we have this header section. So now let's click on it. And first of all, we have the different types of header, the static, sticky, and sticky, which hides on scroll down. So let me show you how these examples look like. So here is the first one, which is static. So it means that when we scroll down, scroll up, we no longer see the menu. We'll only see this header when we go all the way to the top. This means that it is static, it's in this position, and it doesn't move. Next example that we have, it's a sticky. So it means that even though we're scrolling down and up, as you can see, I still see this header, and I can hover here, I can click here, I can change the language, I can change the currency. So this means that the header is sticky. And the last type is sticky but hides on scroll down. So for example, we see, and once we scroll down, we no longer see the header. However, as soon as we just make a little scroll up, we see our header once again. So it only hides when you scroll down, but when you scroll up and stay here, then you see your header again. So these are the three different types of static, sticky, and sticky hide on scroll down types of header. So next we can enable or disable transparent header. So as you can see in our store, we have this shop, blog, contact us, follow us on YouTube. We have the language selector and the currency selector, and it's transparent, so it's on top of this slideshow that we have. However, when we hover or move, as you can see, we get this white background. So here is how you can easily disable or enable the transparent header. Just keep in mind that it works only for homepage. On other pages, it will not be transparent. Okay, so next we have the show bottom border. So let's now enable the bottom border. And as you can see now here, we have this yellowish border. You can change the color here at the bottom in the colors section. Here, as you can see, we have our yellow color. So we've enabled our border, and now let's take a look at the store. But keep in mind that while we have the transparent header enabled, we will not be able to correctly see the border. So as you can see, when I hover, I do not see this border, but when I disable my transparent header, now let's take a look at the store with disabled transparent header. So as you can see, now we have this yellow border in here. So now let's return to our theme customizer and let's enable our transparent header back. Next, we can also show borders in mega menu. So now let's enable it here and let's take a look at the store. So we go to the views store. We've pre-added the mega menu to one of the menus here, the shop one, so that we can show you this example. So by clicking on shop here, as you can see, we get this border. So keep in mind that even if we disable these mega menu borders, we'll still have this upper border because it separates our header from our menu. So by disabling or enabling the borders in mega menu, we just simply add this row, and if we were to have several columns, then all of them would have been separated by this border. So now let's disable the border in mega menu, and we'll also take a look at this one. So we go to view here, and now when I click on my menu, as you can see, we do not have any separation in here. So now let's take a look at what's next. We can also enable or disable the show box shadow. So as you can see here, we have a little bit of shadow when we hover on the header, and at the top we get this shadow. So if you want to separate your header from your next section, so in our case it's a slideshow, so if you want to do so, then you can of course enable or disable the shadow box. Next, we can choose to show the language selector and the country and region selector. So when we go back to full screen here, as you can see, we have the English, so we have the language selector, and we have the currency country selector. So keep in mind that by simply enabling the language selector and the currency selector, your store will not be automatically translated to other languages, or you will not see any other currencies by just simply clicking on this region here. You actually need to go to your Shopify admin panel. Let me go in there. So we go to our admin panel, to settings, and then to languages. So here, as you can see, we have English, Swedish. You can of course add more languages. For example, let's click here. Let's, for example, choose Dutch language here. And as you can see, the store content you have added, such as products and pages, requires translation. Professional Dutch translations are included for checkout and default content for themes built by Shopify. Languages are not visible to customers until they are published. So first of all, we need to add the language, for example, like this. We've added the Dutch language, but then we need to click here and go publish. So that we at least can give the clients an option to switch between the languages. However, we also need to add translations. So to fully translate your store, you can use such apps like Translate and Adapt, for example. You can, with the help of this app, you can translate all your store, like pages, swatches, products, all of the content. So just keep in mind that this is necessary to fully translate your store. So now when we've added the Dutch language, let's click on view here. And here, as you can see, when we click here, we can choose English, Svenska, and Netherlands. So next, if we want to also add other markets or other currencies, we need to go to markets here. And as you can see, we have a few added. So if you want to add a new market, you just click on add market here. Then add the market name. So let's, for example, add Germany. This is just our personal name. Keep in mind that customers won't see this, so you can rename it to whatever you want, and then you need to add the country. So for example, we go here, we choose Europe, Germany, done, and now save. So now, as you can see, we have 3 markets added, and here, if we refresh our page, once we click here, as you can see, we can choose the market in here. So this is how you add your translations and markets, and from here you just simply show or hide the language selector and currency/region selector. And then we get to add in the logo. So as you can see here, we have 2 separate sections for adding the logo. We have the overall image and the image for transparent header. So as you can see, when we move it to full size, as you can see with our transparent header, we have another logo, and when we hover on the header, we now have this one in here. So this is where you can add and change them. So for example, let's now remove our images from here and let's add them right now. So first of all, we have this image here. Just click on select image, and now we just simply need to add our logo. So as you might noticed, when you remove the logo, you see here the name of your store from your Shopify admin panel. So if you want to, you can show it, or you can just simply choose the logo instead to showcase it here. So now let's save our changes and let's take a look at our store. So as you can see, we have our logo here, and when we do not have a separate logo for the transparent header, as you can see, when we hover to see the transparent header, we see the exact same image of this logo. However, we can add a new one. So here we go to image transparent header, and now let's choose this one. And as you can see, this is a transparent image with a transparent background. So whatever background we have in our sections, we'll just simply see the letters of our logo. So now let's take a look. And as you can see, here is our logo with transparent background that suits perfectly for the transparent header. Okay, so now let's go back here, and we can also modify the logo width. So for example, we can make it bigger. As you can see here, we can make it also smaller. So just choose the width that suits you the most. So next we can also change the desktop position. So when we took a look at our logos, as you can see, we have the logo on the left side. However, you can change this position to top, for example. And this is how it's going to look like. As you can see, we have our logo and our menus underneath. We can also change it to middle, and we'll have our logo here in the middle and our menus switch to the left side here. So just feel free to choose anything that suits you the best. And keep in mind that logo position is automatically centered for mobile. So we can switch here to mobile, and we see the logo here, and the menu is in here, as we can see. And we also have the search and the shopping cart. Next, we need to add the actual menu. So for example, we've already added this one. Let's now remove this menu from here. And if you want to create the menu, we'll have a separate video on this topic, so stay updated. Once this video is live, we'll add it in the description box. But for now, just keep in mind that beforehand, you need to have your menus. So you just need to go to your online store, then navigation, and you can add menus from here or use the already existing ones. So we go here, back in our theme customizer, we see main menu. We just click on select menu, and we need to choose the one that we want to use for this store. And don't forget to always save your changes. So next we need to choose the type of our menus. So what types do we have in here? We have 3 different types for you to choose from. We have the drop-down menu, we have the mega menu, and we have both. So when we have both menus, let's go to our store to take a look how it's going to look like. So as you can see, here we have, this is the mega menu. And if we want to have some of our menus set as drop down only, we just need to click on save here. Let's now once again take a look at our store. And now, as you can see, we do not have the mega menu anymore because we've changed the type to drop down. So let me just quickly remove this mega menu block. And now let's take a look at the store with the drop down. So we have this shop here. When we click on it, this is how the drop down looks like. And if you want to have both the drop down and the mega menu, you just need to simply choose here both. Not here, I'm sorry, in the type. Just choose both. And if you want to use mega menus, you need to add them as separate blocks. We'll have videos on how to add mega menu blocks, and we'll link all of them in the description here. But if you want some of your menus to stay as drop down, just simply do not add them as mega menu blocks. They will be in the drop down type automatically if you don't add them as mega menus. And if you set the type to both here. So this is how the menu can look like as a drop down and as a mega menu, as we've showed you before. So next we can choose to open by click or hover. So right now, when I just simply showed you the header example, as you can see, when I hover, I need to actually click for this menu to open. However, we can change it to hover. Let's now save our changes and let's show our store once again. And now, as you can see, I did not click, I just simply hovered on the shop menu and I already see these sub menus in here. So this is the difference between hover and when you need to actually click on the menu like here. So right now, as you can see, I'm hovering on the shop, but only once I click, I see the sub menu. And in this example, I just simply hover on it and I already see my sub menus. So now let's move on. So after the open by section, we have the colors. So of course you can fully modify and customize your colors in your header section. So first of all, we can change the background, which is right now set to white, and just simply click here and choose any color that you want. Next, we can also change the background for mobile menu. So you can have different colors for your desktop and for your mobile menus. Next, we can change the color of the text. So let me just pull up the store real quickly. And the text is this: the shop, blog, contact us, English, USD. This is all of the text that can be changed in here. So you can choose any other color that you'd prefer. And the text for the header transparent, because as you can see, here we have black text on top of white header. But if we were to add black, then it might not be as pretty looking on the transparent header. So this is why we have different colors. And from here you can set up the color for your text and the color for your text for header transparent. Next, we have the color of the icons. So we have these search and shopping cart icons. You can of course change their color as well. And you can also change the icon color for transparent header, the same as with the text. We can also modify the count text. So what do we mean by this? So as you can see, we have this shopping cart, and if we add the product in here, as you can see, we'll have the shopping cart with the here with one count of how many items we have in our shopping cart. So in here, as you can see, we have the count text, which is in white. Next, we also have the count text for transparent header. So right now when we hover and we see our transparent header, as you can see, our count 1 was changed to black color. Next, we also have the count background. So when we see our header, as you can see, we have a white number on the black background. And for the count background transparent header background, as you can see, we see white background and black number 1. Next, we can change the color of the border. We've looked at this at the beginning of the video. And next, we also can change the mega menu image text. So for one type of mega menus, we can have 4 images as we've shown you on our demo store, and you can actually add text on top of these images. Now let's come back to our preview demo store. Here in the stores menu, as you can see, we have 4 images and we have this text, which is also here set in white. And in here you can change the color of that text only. So this is the text. If you want to change the color of this text, then this is set in here. And the last thing in here, we also have mega menu image overlay. So if we want these images to have overlay, we can set up the color from here. So give me just a second and I will add a mega menu with images so that we can take a look at the example. So I have now added the mega menu with images. Once we have the video on this topic ready, don't forget, we'll link everything in the description box. So now let's take a look at our store, and when we hover on shop, as you can see, we have these 4 images here. And as you remember, we can change the color of the text as well. So now here we see the mega menu image overlay, but no color has been chosen yet. So now let's click here. Let's choose gradient, and from here we can choose any color gradient that we want. So for example, let's choose this one, and then you can just fully customize it. So for example, let's set it here to 15% here, and this one to, let's say, 30%. Now let's save our changes, and let's take a look at our store. So we go to view. We now need to just hover on shop, and now as you can see, each of our image has this gradient overlay that you can fully customize. Choose the colors, choose the opacity from here. You can also change the position. You can choose it to look like this or like this, linear. You can also change rotate the location of this gradient, so just feel free to customize it as per your needs. And the last thing in here, we have theme settings, and from here, the theme settings, we get these cart settings. We can choose to show cart notification. Cart notification means that once we add the product to our cart, we'll get a notification. So right now, when we go to our store without the cart notification, when we add the product, as you can see, we have this cart drawer. However, we can also choose to show cart notification. Let's now save our changes and take a look at the store once again here. Let's now click on add this product. And now, as you can see, instead of the cart drawer, we just simply see this cart notification. And the last thing in here, we can change the cart type from drawer to page. So we've already seen our cart drawer. Here it is. But we can also change it to cart page. Let's now save our changes for the cart page. Click on view our store. And now when we add this item to the cart, we see our notification. And when we click on the cart, as you can see, a separate page opens up. We also have a video on how to set up the cart drawer. We'll also link it in the description box, so feel free to check it. And this is it. These are all of the instructions on how to set up your header. We'll also make videos on how to set up each and every block of mega menus. So as you can see in here, we have the mega menu, we have mega menu half to half, mega menu images, and mega menu row menus. So feel free to check the description box. Once the videos are ready, they will be in there. Thank you very much for your time, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact our support team. We're always here to help. And don't forget about our theme manual, where you can also find all of this information. Take care. Bye.